Hey guys, here's just a continuation of notes 1.3, just finishing up what we did a little bit in class. We were measuring angles, and so I just want to give you some names of angles first. We have acute angles, which are angles that are less than 90 degrees. And you can pause the video at any time. I'm just going to move through these, so pause it to write them down. We have obtuse angles that are between 90 and 180. They have to be between it. They can't be more than 180. We call them something else. We'll talk about that when we get to trig. Right angles are exactly 90 degrees, and a lot of times in a right angle you're going to see a box in here. You're going to put a little box just notating that that's a 90-degree angle. And then we have straight angles that measure exactly 180 degrees. They're basically a straight line. Straight angles really mean straight line. So you can pause the video and get any of those down. I'm gonna move on. We're going to talk next about adjacent angles. Those are two angles that share a common ray or common side. We have a diagram here that shows three different rays. We've got ray BA, which is right there, an arrow there. We have ray BC, which is right here, and then we have ray BD here on the bottom. And those three rays make two different angles, a 26-degree angle and a 33-degree angle. The two rays, or the two angles, share this common ray in the middle. Ray BC is a common ray that both angles share. Therefore, we would call them adjacent angles. It's two angles that are touching. So you just think of if you see two angles touch and they have a common side, we know that they're adjacent. So if ABC is 26 and CBD is 33, what do you think the measure of ABD is? Well, let's actually get out our trusty little protractor and see exactly what it is. We can actually measure it here. See, here's how you put the protractor right in the center on the vertex. Get it to line up right on that line, and you can see that this goes exactly through the 59-degree area. So this angle ABD is 59 degrees. Now you might have noticed another way that we could have figured that out instead of bringing out the protractor was simply to add the 26 plus the 33. 26 plus 33 is 59 degrees. So you could have just added those two together. And what we just did there was called angle addition. So if you remember from last section, we talked about segment addition. This is called angle addition, where you're adding two angles together, the two angles that we just measured, and it equals 59 degrees. So those are adjacent angles. Again, pause anytime. On the next page, we have angle pairs. There's a couple of different angle pairs that I want to show you. One is vertical angles, and that's a pair of angles that make an X. You can see them here on this director's chair. Vertical angles make up the legs. Keep the legs strong. There would be these two vertical angles. Here we numbered some 4 angles. We've made 2 lines, and there's 4 different angles. Angle 1 and angle 3 are called vertical angles because they're across from each other. Vertical angles are always on the opposite sides of each other. And angle 2 and angle 4 are also vertical angles. Angles that are across from each other. A pair of angles that make an X. And we should actually also add their R across from each other. Okay, so they're the ones that are across. Now, supplementary angles is another vocab term that you're going to want to know. You're going to hear it a lot, and it's just angles that add up to 180. So here's my straight line. My straight angle is a 180-degree angle. This angle plus this angle together, again, angle addition, adding this angle A to this angle B, you're going to get 180 degrees. We would call those supplementary. So anytime you see the word supplementary, you think 180 degrees. That's what you're thinking. And then the other one is complementary angles, angles that add up to 90. Two angles together that make a right angle. This box represents a right angle. So anytime you see the word complementary, you're going to think 90 degrees. So supplementary angles would be 180-degree angles. Complementary angles would be 90-degree angles. And it's just 2 of them. 2 angles that add up to 180, 2 angles that add up to 90. In this pictures, they're both adjacent angles. They don't have to be adjacent. If you just have 2 angles that add up to 180, they are supplementary. If you have 2 angles that just add up to 90, they are complementary. So complementary, supplementary, those are just 2 key vocab terms. And then the last slide is simply about a linear pair. Now, a linear pair is a pair of adjacent angles that make a line. Now, notice my line is in purple. See where it says linear pair? My line is in purple. The key thing about a linear pair is that it makes a line. You see my line is in purple. Linear pairs make a straight line. That means they have to be adjacent and they have to be supplementary for it to be called a linear pair. It has to be both of those two. Angle 1 and angle 2 are adjacent. They're touching. They share a common ray right here. And they are supplementary because they make a line. So linear pairs would be two angles that make up a straight line that are touching each other. The last thing I wanted to do is to give you an example. And it says two angles are complementary. One angle is 5 times greater than the other. Find the measures, or find the measure of each angle. So your job is to find the measure of each angle. I'm not going to actually do this one for you. I'm just going to say that the first person that can come up in your class and tell me the right answer for both angles will get the door prize for the day. So we'll see you guys tomorrow.